Hi everyone, it's the EnglishSimmer here and welcome back to my channel and another video where I am going to be talking about the community voted stuff pack. So if you haven't seen the results, if you don't want to know the results, I mean, you've probably already seen them in this title, so sorry, not sorry, they've been out for a few days now, but spoiler alert, turn off now if you don't want to hear me talking about what won the results. And what won was knitting. Knitting won the top gameplay item for the arts and crafts pack, which was voted #1 as overall theme. But if you have Discover University and you send your sim to Yarn Bomb, the other school's statue, they will actually whip out knitting needles, and they already have the animation for knitting. Yes, they are standing up whilst doing it, so I'm sure the team will reanimate this to be like sat down, because I know so many people just like knit whilst they're doing other things or with like the TV in the background, so I would expect them to sit down and knit, and if that's not in the game, then why? So they might need to do a little bit of reanimation, but the arms and like the actual movements for knitting is technically already in the game. And I've seen the biggest argument against this being the top voted gameplay item is the animation. People are like, why did you vote for this? All your sims are gonna do is sit down and you're gonna have to watch them repeat the animation. I do think the Sims team could make it quirky, you know, stab yourself in the eye with a knitting needle, obviously no blood because it's a 12 game, but I do think they could make it quirky, like, you know, wrapping all your wool together or like dropping your needles. But it's just like any other animation. I'm sure when The Sims 4 first came out, we all loved watching our Sims cook. But now it's just an animation that we're so used to, and you never really pay attention to it anymore unless your Sim like goes in their ear and then puts it in the salad, because that's still disgusting to me. But yeah, I think animation is like the least exciting thing about knitting, and I don't know why people are solely focused on it, because this is a stuff pack and there's going to be more to do than just watching the animation of someone knit. So I am going to talk to you guys about what I want those extra things to be in this stuff pack. So go get your cozy jumper on, because this is probably gonna be a long one. How ironic, we're just about to start talking about elders and my memory card was full, which is how I feel a lot of elders, including my grandparents, feel. #1, and I know this is a completely different thing to knitting and what we voted on, but I would also love to see sewing included. I think like sitting down and being able to use a sewing machine would be really nice. It'd fit in well with knitting, and if you are a knitter and you don't sew, I apologize. I don't mean to like just lump those two communities together, but I think if we're getting knitting and we can like gift people with jumpers and stuff, I think it would be quite cute to also have sewing. Maybe we could like upcycle clothing. Maybe they could introduce like vintage clothing shops, I don't know, or a place where you can buy like second-hand items and then upcycle them. I think that would be a really cool element to also introduce, but remember, this is a stuff pack, so do not get your hopes up. I mean, I'm basing this off the last stuff pack we got, which was actually Moschino stuff, which came with like 7 new gameplay items. So I'm not writing all of these off the table. I'm not throwing them away and being like, no, the Sims team will only focus on knitting as the gameplay item, because Moschino shows that they can do like 7 new gameplay items really, really well, especially when they already have a strong foundation, and they do with knitting. So I would like to see sewing, and I would also love to see like bed throws and blankets, and also like being able to make teddy bears and tapestries for your house. I'm expecting so many clutter items in this pack, and I cannot wait. My one big thing that I really would love to see, and I don't know why this is classed as like an elder thing, but a rocking chair. I really want a rocking chair or multiple rocking chairs in The Sims 4. I would also love the option for like your adult Sims to be able to like sit a kid on their lap and like tell them bedtime stories that way. I feel like a rocking chair is perfect for doing that. But it could be like a family heirloom. You could also upcycle it if you wanted to. If sewing were coming, we could definitely upcycle the rocking chairs, because that's what actually I got for my 21st birthday. My grandma, who unfortunately isn't with us anymore, she had a rocking chair, and my other set of grandparents actually reupholstered it for my 21st birthday present. That would just be a really nice little heirloom to like pass down in your Sims family if you wanted to. They're also just super cozy, and I feel like we need them in the game. Speaking of somewhere to plant your pixelated tush, I think a rocking chair would be great, but I also think that this is the perfect opportunity to introduce some more sofas. Some comfy looking sofas, some like beaten up sofas, some more leather sofas. My grandparents have those classic like big cherry red armchairs and sofas, and like the leather is cracking because they've had them for so many years, and I just feel like we need some more plain sofas. We need ones that look comfy but also are plain, because I feel like so many of them have like weird wooden backs or frames. I just want like a cloth sofa just to be able to chill out on. And I feel like this could be the pack maybe to get some more cozy furniture into our houses. Like I said, along with knitting, I am expecting a lot of clutter items, you know, knitting magazines, sewing magazines, not trying to hint towards sewing, but I would really appreciate sewing, just like patterns scattered about tables and coffee tables and things like that. I am hoping for so much clutter, and I know embroidery was number 5, but hey, knitting and embroidery kind of go together as well. If you wanna just add some decorative embroidered items, you know, they don't need to be gameplay items, but maybe if you added like some pillows or some little tapestries or some little like home sweet home cross stitches or something like that, I'm down for it. So I am hoping that there's going to be a lot of clutter, just so that we can continue to make our homes feel really lived in. I have some notes written down, and I literally just have hashtag justice for Agnes. I think Agnes Crumplebottom should make a return. She needs to be an old lady in The Sims 4. I just want to see her. I just want to see Agnes make a return, even if they just create her as a Max's Sim that we can just download into our family. But I feel as if somehow Agnes Crumplebottom should play a role in this new stuff pack. As a new NPC Sim, as a new townie, I don't know how they could do it. Maybe she comes around and teaches your Sim how to knit. I don't know, but I would really love to see the return of Agnes Crumplebottom. If you don't know Agnes Crumplebottom, she was a Sim that was introduced back in The Sims 1 as an older lady, and she was an NPC who was introduced in Hot Date. And basically, if you had your Sim like flirt around the town, she would come over and she would hit you with her bag. Then in The Sims 2, it was her great niece, I think, Mrs. Crumplebottom. She was actually related to Agnes, and she would do the exact same thing. She would hit you over the head with her bag. And then in The Sims 3, she was actually a townie, but as her younger self. So you can actually play as Agnes in The Sims 3, which is pretty cool. And I know The Sims 4 isn't in line with the other timelines of the other games, but I would still love to see her reintroduced somehow, especially because people are talking about hopefully having this as like an elder pack, which I'm still not like 100% on. I mean, I do like the idea, but then I also don't want like the knitting community to feel like, oh, you guys turn this into an elder pack and, you know, like other people knit. Which, speaking of, I would also love for kids to be able to knit and sew, because they teach you that shiz in school. I remember in primary school, we had to sew so much. So much. SEWSO. Two separate words. But we had to sew a lot. And like I said, people would quite like this pack to be focused on elders, because I do feel as if they are a life state that is kind of fully ignored in The Sims 4. And I know that knitting is seen as an older person's hobby, which is fine, I mean, but you have to keep in mind that all people of all ages do knitting, especially these days. Like, knitting is cool. But if we as a community and the team also decide to go down this elder route, I would like to see some more gameplay and just make elders really feel as if they are their own life stage. Right now, you kind of don't do anything. I think you can retire from your job, but like, you can't host retirement parties. You can gift people retirement gifts, I guess, with the gifting system. But apart from that, you can't really do a lot as an elder. You kind of quit your job and then you're just like, cool, I am just waiting around to die. And no, I don't think that this pack is going to be the perfect fit for like funerals to be introduced. I want this pack to be wholesome, quality content. I do in the future want funeral parties, but for this pack, I don't think it's the perfect fit. But I would love to see a mentoring system introduced with elders. So basically, your kids could like help them to bake or get in the kitchen with their grandparents, and they'd be able to like pass down their knowledge to their grandkids, and then their grandkids go up in skill as they are like watching their grandparent do certain things. So for example, knitting. I just think that would add something a little bit different to elders, and you really feel like you're passing something along from generation to generation, which is what I'm really feeling is lacking in The Sims 4. Just like generational gameplay that actually feels like you're doing something and you're not just superficially being like, yeah, this is my grandparent, they just hang around my house and don't really do anything. There's also another thing that I would love to see, which would really encourage you to take elders out of the house. I feel like when you do age up into an elder, you are very homebound, you never really leave the house, and sometimes you don't want it all to be about family. Sometimes you get sick of your family. You want to yeet your grandchild out of the window. I get it. How about they introduce a new community lot, which would be like a community hall or something like that. And I think it would be really cool if this community hall kind of had different events happening in it, like every single day of the week. So say on a Monday between the hours of 2 p.m. and 5 p.m. or maybe like 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. you have a knitting club going on in this community hall. Then maybe the next day you can have like Terratots, which is like a toddler playgroup that could happen in this community hall. I just think that's a really cute way of encouraging your elders to leave the house. Also, meet people their own age, meet people with the same kind of interests. And I'm saying elders, but it doesn't have to be elders. It can be any age group, as long as you have an interest in like what's going down at this community lot. You could attend and you can learn new skills. You can meet people who have the same interests as you. How stinking cute would that be? I feel like hobbies are really a great place to build communities and find people with the same interests as you. Look at us all. You're watching this video because you're part of the Sims community, and I'm talking about the Sims, and I'm also part of the Sims community. We built the Sims community over our love of the Sims. So how about we let our Sims build those same communities about things that they love? It's so pure. Honestly, I am like gushing over the fact that this is going to be a stuff pack. I personally think that Creator Sim could be possibly one of the strongest points of this stuff pack. You could have so many cozy jumpers and like cardigans and hats and scarves and headbands and socks and just so many different things that you can pretend that Sims have knitted. I do think that there should be specific ones that are available through the gameplay. So as your knitting skill unlocks, you unlock like more patterns, and then when you actually knit those patterns, they become unlocked in Create a Sim. I would love to see that. But I do think we should get some ones right out of the gate, maybe like 1 or 2 hats. I just cannot wait to see what the Sims team come up with, because we do vote on our favorite items, and I'm hoping that's the same this time around. We did it for laundry day stuff. I'm hoping that we do it for this one, because I cannot wait to see the concept art of Create a Sim. It's just gonna be so cozy. And Sims team, if you need any inspiration, I'm here. And one thing that I would love to see before this stuff pack comes out, and this is me thinking outside of the box, this is me completely blowing my ideas out of the water, and I know this isn't gonna happen, but a girl can dream, right? So we all know about the hashtag Free the Babies social hashtag that we have for the Sims 4 babies. They're objects. They stay tied to a crib. You can't really do anything with them. So, hear me out on this one. And I know, things are getting a little cray-cray. But what if, before this pack was released, the Sims team patch in new babies? It's been done before. They patched in toddlers. And I know it's a big rework because babies are already in the game and toddlers weren't. If they patched in freed babies, or even if it's not freed babies, okay, in the end, I would want free babies. Like, I need those babies to be freed from their shackles of their cribs, or just be able to give them new cribs, man. I am sick of the bassinets. I want a proper traditional crib. Like, I don't want a Moses basket. I want a crib. Or like more Moses baskets that look a little bit cooler. So my logic of thinking is, even if they don't give us free babies, then maybe they can give us different skins for babies. Because if you think about it, grandparents, my grandma is like the cutest human being ever. Whenever there's a charity drive, whenever premature babies in hospitals need new hats, or when the Ariana Grande thing happened in Manchester and she wanted to raise money and she also wanted to show her support for Manchester, she made tiny little bees, and I have one in my car. Obviously I was there and I was like, Grandma, I know these are for like charity and you want to raise money using them, but am I okay to have a bee? And I still have it sat in my car. I'm actually gonna run out and get it so I can show you my grandma's knitting skills. I did tell you I was gonna go run out to get it. So this is the little bee that I was talking about. As you can see, he's got little legs. He's a little bit tucked in because he has been smushed in my car. But this is him. Look how stinking cute he is. And she made these to make money for the victims of the Ariana Grande bombing. Is that not the cutest thing you have ever seen? But she made little bees, and she makes little hats for the premature babies in all the hospitals around Manchester, and knitting is like a dying art, and I'm getting so emotional about this because my grandma is just the sweetest person ever and I love her. But what if they gave us Reskin Babies so they could have little knitted hats, or they can have little knitted jumpers, or little knitted outfits? It's been how many years? 5 years? Yeah, 5 years since The Sims 4 came out, and we've had the exact 2 same babies this whole time. If it's a baby boy, you get the monkey baby grow. If it's a baby girl, you get the butterfly baby grow, I want to say. Why? Why are those the only 2 babies we ever have in the game? So even if they don't free the baby, Sims team, can you just maybe add a couple of baby reskins? Because I am sick of having the same fetus every single time. And I know some of you would be like, ugh, why do you want this? I always age my babies up anyway. There's no point to the Sims team spending time on that. But for a person who wants to be a family player but can't because there's no family aspect in The Sims 4, Just let me live this fantasy. If they're not gonna free the babies, at least change it up here or there. Sprinkle some salt, come on. Stop giving me unseasoned babies. I like how I just called salt seasoning. Jesus. So there we have it, guys. That is my quick rundown of what I would like to see included in this stuff pack. And I know most of these things aren't gonna make it because it is, at the end of the day, just a stuff pack. But what can I say? Moschino stuff really gave me hope. As much as I didn't want that pack, I think it actually turned out pretty great. And if they can raise my expectations from a Moschino pack, then my expectations are already raised for this knitting stuff pack. But thank you guys all so much for tuning in to listening to my rambling thoughts about knitting. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, give it a big thumbs up. Leave your comments and suggestions down below. I would absolutely love to hear what you guys want included in this pack. I'm sure I will think of more. I'm sure as time goes on and I make more videos and we have more votes, I'll have more to say about this pack. Of course I will. I have a massive gob and you can't pay me enough money to not voice my opinions. So I will continue ranting about what I would like to see in this pack as the whole voting process goes on. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. As I said, let me know what you would absolutely love to see included in this pack. I would love to see a little discussion going on down in my comment section, and I will speak to you all in my next video. Bye guys!